Hello, I'm just back from 3 wonderful days in Barcelona at JAGGAER REV 2023 conference, and I think that was probably the best single vendor event I've attended in my many years of going to all the various different conferences. I've been to some really good ones in the past, and there's certainly some parallels with those, but I think JAGGAER really raised the bar this week. And they did so because they've got 3 key things absolutely right, and we'll talk about what those 3 are. So if you're interested in what makes for a great conference, I think I've got some good information to share with you. So number 1, they got the venue absolutely right. And if I look at the best ones I've been to in the past, Cooper Inspire in Berlin was really good last year. I remember Ariba Live back in 2016 in Prague was really good. And what this event had in common with those 2 was that they chose a wonderful venue. So if you've been to Barcelona, you've walked down the beach, you've seen the iconic W Hotel building. It's a real standout sort of landmark. And it's a beautiful building in my opinion, but it's actually even better inside, particularly when you open the curtains in the morning and look out the window across the beach and the sea. So it's a beautiful location, a fantastic hotel. And that's really important, particularly as everyone who was at the conference was housed in that hotel. So it's a real treat to stay somewhere that nice, but also, most importantly, everyone's together. So not only are you there during the day together at the actual conference, but then in the evening, drinking in the bar the night before the actual conference started, or at the party and after the party as well. So it helps you generate that sense of community. Everyone's relaxed, everyone's enjoying themselves, and it makes for much more productive conversations and a much more enjoyable environment. So absolutely got that spot on. The food was fantastic as well. And we had the party on the Tuesday night, which was a venue just a few minutes down the road. I won't even try to pronounce it, but it was a beautiful architecture in keeping with much of Barcelona, of course. Food was fantastic. DJ was good. Everyone had a great time. It was a really excellent sort of gala dinner. It was noticeable that the C-suite, who were all there from JAGGAER, and more on that in a moment, were all there enjoying themselves, and several of them seemed to be quite enthusiastic about their time on the dance floor. But we'll leave that there, because what goes on at Rev stays at Rev, or so I'm told. Now, second point they got really right was the delegates and the attendees. So it was quite small and intimate compared to other events that I've attended. But they got the balance right. So a good number of partners, not too many partners, not too an overwhelming number of different stands. And the partners all had a lot of their big hitters there. KPMG had 2 partners there, for example. Other consultancies and tech partners had senior members of their teams there. And the entire JAGGAER C-suite was there, and a real praise to them because they made themselves very visible, very available. I've been to other events in the past where you sort of see the CEO on the stage, but you don't see them around the venue much. Well, the C-suite were all available to talk to customers, partners, prospects, and they're all very engaging. And I think that added to the event as well. But also in the customers and prospects, it's really senior people there, decision-making people who had real power and authority in their organizations. And those people were then able to have really good conversations with the partners of JAGGAER. So for those people, they had a productive session. And I know the partners were pretty positive about their experience. So all that created a really positive environment for everyone to have meaningful business conversations, to learn from each other, to network, and made for a very, very good feeling around the room. And then the third point, and this is perhaps the most important one, is the content, the agenda. And we've seen real strides forward in that this year, particularly Matthias Guzman and what he's doing at DPW. They've really raised the bar, I think, in those multi-vendor, multi-sponsor environments, conferences rather. And there were some real standout presentations from my perspective at the event. So I've posted some pictures on LinkedIn this week of some of the slides. Ones that I'd like to pick out were Justin Sadler-Smith had Rob Anthony and Chris Sawchuk from Hackett on stage, and they both gave some really interesting insights. Chris brought an awful lot of energy and some really insights from Hackett's latest research, which will be published next month, I think, and he was showing the differing priorities of CPOs over the last few years, which is really an interesting piece of research to share. And Rob possibly gave the best 15 minutes I think I've seen for a while at any presentation, where he talked about Conservation Maritime's supply chain risk and all the legislation and compliance they've got to do around ESG. And that was really straight talking, really quite hard hitting, and very, very informative for everyone in the room, even people who go to a lot of conferences. So that was excellent. Justin also chaired a thing on stakeholder engagement, which had Lars Feldskue from Danish Crown and Roy Lamont, formerly of Hitachi Rail. And those two gave refreshingly honest sort of insights into what they would have done differently if they had their time again with stakeholders on their technology deployments, really open and honest about things that they got wrong, things they got right. Got some great questions from the audience. On that, again, back to the venue, the size of the breakout rooms was just right. They always felt pretty full, so there was real energy in the room. Everyone felt engaged. Even I got about 80% filled, 80% of the room filled for my presentation, which I really enjoyed making. You know, that was a key feature of, again, the thing. There weren't too many things going on. We weren't in big empty rooms, as has been the case with some other events I've been to earlier on this year. We also had Ralph Dillman from Bearing Point, who gave some really impactful slides on ESG. And he had Alfredo Figueira, I think it was, from Galp, the Portuguese energy company. They're one of the biggest energy companies in Iberia, and they've been on their ESG journey, I think, since 2010. And if you want a case study in why ESG is good business practice and the commercial benefits, you should perhaps try and see the video of that presentation. I think Jagger recorded it. I'm not sure if they're going to share it, but if they do, definitely try and watch that, because that was very, very impressive what those guys are doing at Galp. And I really enjoyed that and felt, you know, completely educated as part of that. So there are just a few highlights. There are many other good sessions, some that I missed, some that I attended. But overall, we got those three key things right: the venue, the attendees, and the actual agenda. And I think that is a template for these sorts of conferences. And I believe they're going to go back to the States next year and possibly be in Texas. And if it's half as good as this one in Barcelona, it's one not to be missed. So that's worth bearing in mind if you do get a chance to attend Jagger conferences in the future. And if you've got any more thoughts on what I think can make for a great agenda, then please do get in touch. And also, please bear in mind, we've got our Insider coming out very shortly, and we've got some more great content in that, inspired by a lot of what we hear at these conferences. So please look out for that, and we welcome your feedback if you have a chance to watch some of our videos and read some of our content. Okay, thank you. Appreciate you watching this all the way to the end. I hope you've got something out of it, and I'd love to hear from you if you need any help with your hiring or your own career progression. Thank you.